Hello, everyone. If you're hearing this, then that means that something bad has happened. I know it's cliche, but stick with me. Madison, Maine is a small town. It doesn't see much traffic from the outside world, or at least it didn't. There's been an increase in tourism here because of the Madison Maimer, a serial killer that has been plaguing these streets. His first victim was Bella Fields, and now, with new evidence, we have reason to believe we may know who the killer is, or at least where they are. I'm Royal McNeal, an MAD1 radio host turned true crime detective, and I've been hot on this killer's trail for months now. After America's loss to the Russians and Chinese in World War III, our struggle has been difficult. America had to pay fines, and our country has been decimated. The new world superpowers are Russia and China, and yet, even with the worry of the red menaces, we still have to worry about unhinged people at home. My theory is that the Madison Maimer is an ex-soldier who couldn't handle the change back to civilian life. The hunt has led me on dead ends, goose chases, and more. It wasn't until I broke into a cabin in the woods that I found this audio log from Fields' final night on this planet. It depicts Bella after she's had a disorientating conversation with her parents. For some context, Bella Fields is a high school graduate. She was attending Madison Community College when she was killed. She lives in a nice suburban area surrounded by relatively rich white families. Quite common in Madison, Maine. The neighborhood itself is safe, with the latest crime being only a car break-in roughly 3 months ago. She's been fed a silver spoon in life and hasn't had to work a day. I'm going to start the recording. Listen carefully. That would be the bell indicating it's 1 a.m. And here, Bella has just had a late-night mental breakdown. She's realized she doesn't have much going for her in life anymore, that perhaps she peaked in high school. Well, this starts a conversation with her dad, eventually leading into a long night of arguing. Enraged, confused, frustrated, she has left the house in the dead of night and disappeared into the darkness, going for a walk to cool down from her argument.
Alone. Just like I've always been. I never really had any friends. I've never really had anyone. My parents never loved me. They just threw money at me, thinking that it would give me a better life, just like it had them. My friends never cared for me. They all went off to college and left me behind. And here I am, literally alone in the dead of night. Nothing going for me. No one here for me. And yet, I feel oddly comforted, almost safe. Nothing physically bad has ever happened to me. I've never broken a bone. I've not done anything besides a few scrapes and bruises. No life-changing surgery, no back-breaking pain. Maybe I'm just coming to terms with the fact that no one loves me anymore. Or maybe I'm just stupid. But those thoughts from my bedroom 20 minutes ago aren't bothering me as much anymore. You know, I don't think I've ever taken a moment to stop and enjoy this neighborhood. The architecture, or even the grass next to the sidewalk. It really is a pretty place, with flowers and shrubs placed perfectly throughout the path, the houses looming in the night with the occasional light on, the quiet sound of a car here and there, the headlights of the vehicle warming the road for merely a second as it passes by. Well, look at that sign right there. I've never noticed it before. I really don't get out much anymore, do I? What does it say? I've got to get a bit closer. Neighborhood Watch. Huh. Didn't know we had one of those before. Whatever those is. Is it like the police? Or is it owners with guns that walk around? Or is it a council of people who vote on things like the Homeowners Association? God, I feel so stupid. I don't even know what a neighborhood watch is. Wait. Yeah, it's coming back to me. The Robinsons were on the neighborhood watch. That's right. Maybe I can ask them about it. What was that? Somebody stepped on a twig or something. Well, I guess it wouldn't be somebody, would it? It'd just be an animal or something. Nobody else is out here. Why would they be? It's 1 a.m. I miss my old parents. They've changed since I've grown up. They seem less interested. Yeah, that's the word. They don't really care much about me anymore. In fact, Dad and I fight almost daily. Yesterday, he sent me to my room. But I'm an adult now, so I just left. And tonight, God, I'm so tired of him. He doesn't understand me. He doesn't understand how I want to be in life, the life I want to live. He just keeps getting mad. So mad that he'll punch a wall or yell or something. I was arguing that I should go off to college, not attend stupid community college. And he was arguing against it, yelling at me that this is the right choice. I called him stupid, among other words, and he said to get out of the house or he'd kill me. That hurt a little more than it should. He's never said that to me before. Odd. Maybe it's a rabbit or a coyote. Hello? Anybody there? Dad? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Gray? Must have been the wind or something. It's strange to think that I didn't have much to worry about in high school. I didn't even think of a career or anything. I just thought I'd be there forever, living off of social exchanges like a vampire. But now, here I am, trying to figure out what to do in life. I don't think I have anything to do in life. There's literally nothing for me out there. What? This is a bit too coincidental that these many twigs are snapping. Hello? I know you're out there. Just step out and do what you're going to do. Nobody appeared. And I can't tell if those are the shadows of bushes or a person. Is that a mailbox or something else? I don't feel safe. I gotta go home now. Look, if there's someone out there, I'm gonna call the cops right now. You may as well show yourself and plead your case before you get locked up in jail. A sign? I didn't even see it there. What does it say? Neighborhood watch. Well, if you're supposed to be watching the neighborhood right now, then where are you? Can't you see I'm in danger? Unless neighborhood watch is hunting me. Look, over there. I see a shadow. Someone on the edge of the light at a street lamp. Something is wrong. Why are they just standing there? My leg! Someone shot my leg! Please, help! Somebody! I'm being attacked! Anyone, please, help me! What are you? Who are you? Why did you shoot me? I swear that... Wait... Dad?
And that's where the recording stops. Finally, after months, I've made a breakthrough. The likelihood is that the Madison Maimer is Mr. Eric Fields, Bella's dad. Unfortunately, he went missing the night that Bella was killed, likely to cover up his tracks. Bella had a close connection with the Robinson family. It's a name she called out, and considering that she thinks her killer was a part of the neighborhood watch, this is a good place to go. I should go check on them and see if they might have known Mr. Fields or where he could have gone.
Mr. McNeal, welcome to my humble abode. You said you wanted to interview me about something? Talk about Bella's murder? Do you have some insight into it? It's been months now. She was such a good, promising girl.
Mr. Robinson, yes, thank you. I've been investigating the Madison Maimer for almost a year now, ever since that night that Bella was found dead.
Oh?
Until yesterday, I came across a recording of Bella Fields the day she died.
Does it have any news?
Yes, it seems like she was killed late at night. Shot in the leg, then the head, and then maimed. Her arms and legs torn completely off her torso. Nobody could find the limbs.
Please, Mr. McNeal, I've read the papers. You don't need to bring that part up again. There's something different in this recording besides the gruesome death.
Sorry. Yes, it was the final hour before death. For some reason, she was recording. Maybe just to talk it out with an invisible force, or maybe for another reason. I'm not sure yet. The tape is mostly useless, just Miss Fields discussing her life that she finds boring. But there are two interesting things. First, she refers to you and your family. She seems to think that the Robinsons are a part of the neighborhood watch.
We are. Please excuse me, I'm thawing steak for tomorrow night. I need to go dry it off and put it in the refrigerator.
Certainly. And second, she calls out for you before she is shot in the leg. And then she seems to recognize the killer, referring to him as Dad.
Are you accusing me of murder?
No. I'm not. I have no evidence you're guilty or innocent. I'm merely inferring so I can piece this together in my head. Would her father have killed her?
Not willingly, no. At least I don't think he would. Eric Fields can be an abusive guy. Many times Bella made her way over to our house after being beaten for things she's done wrong. But I don't think he'd go as far as to hunt his daughter and maim her in the middle of the night. He's a sicko, but he's not that sick.
So you don't believe that Eric Fields killed his daughter?
No.
Do you know anyone else that Bella Fields had a connection to?
Yeah, Mr. Gray, the old man down the street. She often saw him as a mentor, and in fact, Teddy goes over there from time to time. He coached Teddy's team. Teddy was the last group of kids he coached. Mr. Gray's retired now.
Is that so? Do you mind if Teddy comes in here and I ask him a few questions about Mr. Gray?
Teddy! Come in here real quick.
Hiya, Pop.
Mr. McNeal is going to ask you a few questions about Mr. Gray, okay?
What? Why would he want to do that?
Just answer his questions, Teddy.
Okay.
Hi, Teddy. I'm Mr. McNeal, but you can call me Royal. You know, like the king. I wanted to ask you about Mr. Gray. You see, I'm working on solving a big mystery, and I think Mr. Gray is a big part of it. Was Mr. Gray your Little League coach this past season?
Yeah,
And was Mr. Gray a good or bad coach?
he was okay.
Why do you say that?
He was a bit old and weird at times.
Weird. How so?
I kinda don't want to talk about him. Can we talk about something else?
That's okay. I won't take up any more of your time, Teddy. You can go back to playing in the other room.
Thanks.
What was that about?
Just gathering data. Anyways, back to Bella Fields. Would you consider yourself a father figure in her life?
I'd reckon so.
Would she ever call you Dad?
Get out. Now.
Sorry, I overstepped.
Out.
Have a good day, Mr. Robinson. I had that interview yesterday at noon. When I showed up today, police surrounded the house, and Teddy, his kid, and Mrs. Robinson were huddled around shattered glass. Mrs. Robinson saw me and approached. Apparently, they were attacked by what she described as a demon, and Mr. Robinson has since gone missing. I assured Mrs. Robinson that I was on the case. For some reason, she withheld evidence from the police. Perhaps they would have thought this was staged? I don't know. But she gave me a video recording that John took that night. She said that John had been recording his life a lot better to retain his memories when he got older, as his family has a history of Alzheimer's. Whatever the reason, let's get into it. Here's a bit of context. Teddy, his son, has just gone to bed. His mother and father kiss him on the head and tuck in the covers for him. They read a bedtime story, a quaint, quick story about a bear and a river. Then they turned off the light and started walking away, hand in hand, as they smiled down to their kid. Making their way to their own bedroom, they pulled the covers back and got into their own bed. Within minutes, the two were asleep. The camera rolls for about an hour before Teddy screams.
Huh? What's that? Oh, I'm so tired. Honey, did you... Oh, she's still asleep. I guess that means I'm the one to go check on the kid. This sucks. I gotta be up for work in the morning. Teddy? Teddy? The room's empty. Entirely empty. Where could he have gone? Maybe he's had a nightmare or something. He's been walking up with the cuts on his legs. That came from downstairs. Maybe he's trying to grab cookies or something. But why did he scream? A nightmare or something? Somebody left the light on in the kitchen. Nobody's here. But whoever was here left the fridge open. How annoying. Wait a minute. What happened to that raw steak for dinner tomorrow night? It's gone. Who would have taken that? I swear, if we have a burglar in our house and they're only taking raw steaks, then I'm going to have some serious words with them. Ugh, I'm so tired. And for nothing. I guess I'll go make sure that Teddy's back in bed. Teddy. Teddy, are you in here?
It's here, Daddy.
Who's here?
Not who. What?
Buddy, I'm a little bit concerned for you. Is everything okay?
It's under the covers, Daddy. It's been coming every night.
Who?
Not who. What? It's here now, and it's hungry.
Is this your imaginary friend? Or pet?
It's not imaginary. It's right here. Clawing at my legs.
Whoa, Teddy, what are you doing with that steak? We're gonna use that for tomorrow's dinner.
I'm giving the steak to it. It's hungry.
If you put that steak in your bed, you will be grounded, mister.
But I gotta.
I'm not cleaning steak juice out of your bed. You'll ruin the covers. Put it down. In 3, 2, 1, 1.5.
It's gonna hurt me, Daddy.
Put the steak back, Teddy, and stand up.
I can't stand up.
Why?
It doesn't like when I leave more than once.
I'm getting sick and tired of these cat and mouse games.
No, Daddy, don't take the covers off.
I'm sorry, but you did this to yourself. Out of bed, now.
You're gonna make it really mad. Put them back on.
There's nothing here, Teddy. Just your legs.
It's not on me. It's on the covers.
Ugh!
Daddy.
Blast it, something just bit my hand. Where are you, you little dastard?
Daddy, let go of the covers.
It's like a goblin, but it's not green, but it doesn't have any arms. It's... Where... Where the arms should be, there are only stumps. But those teeth, those bloody teeth as they stare at me, they're menacing. What is it? It's hanging onto the covers with its feet, hanging upside down. Get it away!
Don't hurt him, he's just hungry. Just give him the steak.
Get out of my house. Out! Out now!
Daddy! Don't kick it! Stop!
Get out of my house! I better turn on the hallway lights. Where did it... I didn't leave the door to the bedroom open. Carrie! Carrie, wake up! Carrie, oh my God, get off her! Get off her now! Carrie! Carrie, wake up!
What's happening?
Carrie, you're awake. Get out of here! Alright, you godly bastard. I'm gonna put you out this window. You came in here, you torture my kid, you torture my wife. I'm gonna kill you. Punted it right out the window. It better be dead now. Carrie. Oh, Carrie, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I don't know what this is, but I should have protected us. I should have. I'm gonna make sure it's dead.
And that's where the recording stops. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Mrs. Robinson was injured. So was Teddy. And the police don't believe her. They think that she's trying to hide an abusive relationship. But I've seen the footage. Both of us have, dear listener. John isn't abusive. There's something more to this case. To the planet. Either aliens or monsters. God, I hate to say it, but perhaps a serial killer isn't the worst of our issues. I don't know what happened to John Robinson, but I do know that his family is safe, at least for now. Whatever the creature was, I can't tell. But John mentioned a Mr. Gray yesterday. He's an elderly man, roughly 40 years my senior. He used to coach my little league team when he was in his prime. I've had my suspicions about him ever since my childhood best friend Gary Leftfield committed suicide. It's been 20 years, but I think everything is coming to fruition. Teddy's confirming my suspicions, but I want a little bit more proof before I confront Mr. Gray. I was able to get an interview with Mr. Robinson and his son, Teddy. Later that night, the Robinsons were attacked by a monster. Mr. Robinson has since disappeared. I'm outside the house right now. Mrs. Robinson seems relatively calm and collected. She's approaching me now.
Royal?
Ma'am?
You're a detective, right?
A journalist, but I'm doing my best.
But you've already put more work into solving poor Bella's murder than the police.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Please find my husband. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's somehow involved, but please, please.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Teddy, come here. If you'll excuse me, Royal. I've still got a kid to look after.
Sure thing. It looks like the detective assigned to Bella's murder is here. Maybe I'll see what he knows. Excuse me, detective.
I don't know what's wrong, officer, but it's strange that Sarge keeps giving me these cases.
I'd say. It seems like he trusts you or something.
Then again, there's only so many officers in the MPD.
Yeah, I was the only officer to graduate from the academy and come here.
Detective, I'd like to speak with you.
Ah, the press. I'll see you for coffee later.
I'll see you there. Good luck.
Royal McNeal, right? Journalist? What can I help you with today?
Detective, I've been hot on the Fields case for months now, and my clues led me to John. Unfortunately, he's gone. I wanted to know if you knew anything about his disappearance or Bella's murder, since you were the detective on the case.
I'm sorry, but I can't share information for an open case, especially to a journalist.
Is there anything you can tell me? What are your suspicions?
Suspicions? Only suspicion I have is that babe I was talking to earlier. Yeah, she's gonna stand me up.
Detective, about the case, please.
Oh, she's already stood me up once. She's a forgetful person, but the sex is great. Oh, really the only reason to keep seeing her.
Detective, please, anything, help me out.
She's got super daddy issues, though. It's hot in the bedroom, but so annoying to listen to when we're cuddling afterwards. It's like whenever she calls me daddy, it brings up the memories of her father abusing her.
Fine, Detective. You win. Have a nice day.
You too, Mr. McNeal.
A complete waste of my time. And rude. I probably won't be able to get any information out of him. Anyways, continuing the case, Teddy mentioned Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray is an old man who has had connections to almost everyone in Madison. He's been a sports coach, often for men's baseball and women's soccer. He's also been on the city council and school board. He even started fixing the potholes in the road when Madison voted down the levy. Yet something has always been off about him to me. Not just the fact that he is a really connected man, but the fact that those closest to him end up dead. When I was younger, I was on the Madison Little League team, and I played with my best friend, Gary Leftfield. I enjoyed it, but Gary went from being extroverted and outgoing to a sad, outcast introvert over the course of a singular season. We were 11 at the time, and that would eventually lead to the worst news I ever heard in my life. After that season, Gary would grow up to be a sad soul. He would often come to school exhausted, smelling of high heaven. In senior year of high school, he attempted to take his life. He failed, and his mom was the first one to find him. From that point on, I went out of my way to stay with the man and be the close friends that we once were. I noticed his mood start to improve, slowly but surely. He would start to smile more, laugh a bit louder, and soon, after a few years, he was back to his normal self, charismatic, outgoing. But that hurt that got him, it never went away. He just got better and better at hiding it. It got to him. And when we were 30, he killed himself. I didn't see it coming. I didn't know he felt that way anymore. And I keep kicking myself for not seeing the signs. It's my fault. I was his friend for so long, and he never said why he was so depressed in the first place. I never got him help for the depression. I just gave him a mask to wear. I failed as a friend. And since that moment 3 years ago, I've been trying to piece together what happened that season. I think it may have had something to do with Mr. Gray. I have my suspicions of the man, but I want to confirm them before meeting with him. He knows every inch of this town. Every face, every name. I bet he knows the killer. And when he tells me, I'll bring him to justice for his other crimes. Okay, so I'm here with Benny Watts. We're sitting in his apartment at the nearby town of Combsbury, Maine. The room is kind of small, and there isn't much echo here, not much ambience, but it's decorated well, lots of dull furniture that matches the darkened walls of the room. A singular TV sits across from a sofa he's sitting on.
You wanted to talk about something, right?
Yes. Were you on the Madison baseball team when you were younger?
Yes.
How old are you now?
19.
And when were you on the Madison baseball team?
11.
And who was the coach of the team?
It was Mr. Gray.
Mr. Gray was the coach of the baseball team.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So, how did your team do that season?
I don't know.
Was Mr. Gray a good coach?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my investigative journalist side is kicking in. I'm asking too many questions, aren't I? Well, Mr. Watts, I'm glad you decided to meet with me today. I've been conducting research into Mr. Gray and how he has affected the Madison community, especially after so many fathers left during World War III.
The war was hard on all of us.
I know. And as a journalist and news anchor during the war, I'm dreadfully sorry about everything that happened. The information we were given, it was all wrong. And America lost. Such a devastating loss, too.
My dad, he served. Right when I got into high school, they reinstated the draft. He got called. The war was over before I could enlist. My dad died in the war. A Russian shot him in Washington, D.C.
Your dad was there for the storming of the Capitol?
Yeah, and he was almost there for New York, too. But they redeployed him at the last minute to Lima, Ohio, to the tank plant. There was a spy up there that the military thought might sabotage or, worse, blow up the plant. My dad and a small group of army men left to ensure the security of the facility. My life was tough up until that point, but then it almost became unbearable.
Why was it tough up until that point?
Memories.
Did they have to do with Mr. Gray?
What? How did you know?
My best friend changed forever in Little League. I thought it was maybe puberty, but he never got better. He eventually took his own life.
Was that Gary Letfield? I'm so sorry to hear that, Mr. McNeal.
Thank you. Yeah, Gary was great. I loved him like a brother. We were always there for each other, even after Little League. But I have so many vivid memories of him acting intrinsically different, all from that summer. We hung out with most of the kids normally, but the only new person was Mr. Gray. I have a memory of after practice. We were all tired and wanted to get ice cream. Mr. Gray drove us to Dairy Queen and bought us all a cone. He kept watching Gary. Every time I looked at him, he was staring at Gary. Eventually, Gary excused himself to the bathroom. And so did Gray. I think that was the first moment I became suspicious of Mr. Gray.
Yeah, that's how he does it. For both the Little Leagues and soccer teams. He finds moments when you're vulnerable or after he just bought you a treat. And he uses that as leverage. Every win for the team was a win for him.
Mr. Watts, I'm here today because I heard through the grapevine that you may be one of Mr. Gray's victims.
Yes, I am.
Sorry. That must have been difficult for you.
Thank you. It's been hard, especially after Dad died. Mr. Gray was like a father to me. And then he became more like a creepy uncle.
Would you like to talk about it?
No, I can't.
Okay, I understand. I would like to ask, though, how have you been lately?
I've been trying so hard to stay happy. It isn't easy.
Might I recommend a close friend of mine, a therapist? She won't charge for the first few sessions. She's based in Madison, and I know a few of her clients that have likely had some affairs with Mr. Gray. She's experienced.
Thanks, but I'm not going back to Madison. That's why I moved out here. I had to get out. Even if I'm only 30 miles away, I just needed new scenery.
I understand. Here's her card in case you need it.
Thank you.
Benny Watts was definitely suffering. He looked much like Gary did in high school. Fatigued, introverted, almost paranoid, stuttering. What Gray did to Gary, he must have done to Benny too. I'm not a praying man, and I don't believe in an afterlife, but people like Gray make me wish hell existed. Ugh, I can't believe him. So many children, so many lives ruined. How many more people have taken their lives because of what Gray did? Bella Fields, Gary Leftfield, Benny Watts, all of them have been touched by this man, and yet he still lives his life as if he didn't ruin theirs. God, I hate him. There's still some more evidence I'd like to gather before reaching out to Mr. Gray. His ex-wife, Jeannie, wanted to talk with me before I confronted him. I'm curious to see what she has to say. I met with Jeannie on a Tuesday, about 2 days after Benny, though I truly felt bad for Benny. He didn't give much insight or evidence besides Mr. Gray being creepy. I need more concrete facts before I can stick his crimes to him. So, I'm meeting with his ex-wife. She divorced him about 20 years ago, almost right after he started with my Little League team. Jeannie and I met in an empty park, sitting on a bench and feeding some pigeons. The wind was light, and the birds flew overhead. The cool fall sun shining above. How are you, Miss Gray?
Please call me Jeannie. I'm not much for formalities. They make my skin crawl.
Jeannie, I came to talk with you about your husband.
I thought that might be so. What would you like to know?
I've talked with a few other people, and all of them have alluded to R-rated things your ex-husband may have done with children.
There's no may have about it. It's something he did, and the exact reason I left him.
Are you comfortable talking about it?
Comfortable? I'm the one who, 30 years ago, called the cops on him. That's what ended our marriage. He wasn't that way when we first married. He just found some weird things on the internet. From there, he kept getting messed up, until he eventually tried it and never went back. I called the cops the first time, and they arrived to find the place completely clean of evidence. And the child gone. Same thing happened the second time. I tried recording it by setting up hidden cameras, but he found them and broke them. So, realizing the cops were no help and he wasn't going to change, I left.
Have you done anything since to try and get him arrested?
No, I gave up. There's so much hurt in this world, and Gray was causing more of it. Yet no one seemed to care. So I've stayed alone and secluded most of my life, staying away from all those people that never cared about helping those poor children.
He was affecting so many kids. Why didn't anyone speak up about it?
Well, 2 reasons. They thought they were alone, that they were the only ones who were affected by this man. But they were wrong. And the other reason is that he tends to go after kids that he knows won't talk, even ones that won't talk into adulthood.
Has he ever killed anyone to stop them from speaking up?
No, not that I know of. But if he had connections to this Bella girl, then maybe.
He did have connections to her. She would often go to his house after school. Do you think that he could have killed her?
I don't know. I'm not sure. He'd never hurt a fly when I loved him, but he's so warped and twisted now that I don't know.
Thank you for your time, Jeannie. I'm going to be bringing Mr. Gray to justice soon.
Don't call him Mr. Gray. That's how he keeps power over you.
Thank you, Jeannie. Interesting. Those 2 visits have confirmed my suspicions. Mr. Gray is a pedophile. He's been touching and grooming children within the community. But could he actually kill someone? He's so old, so frail. And why would he start now, after all of these years? Murdering a girl in cold blood, late at night? It doesn't make sense for what I know about him.
Hello, is this Royal McNeal?
This is he?
My name is Virginia Harrison. I'm a college journalist. I go to Madison University. I'm reporting on the Madison Maimer, seeing if I can find the truth to the story. I know you're working on it, so I was reaching out for a comment.
Well, Miss Harrison, I'd warn you to leave it alone. The deeper I go, the more messed up it becomes.
Perhaps we could meet for coffee one day?
I don't think I'm quite ready to give an interview yet. There's still more I need to learn.
Would you be willing to do so in a week? My assignment is going to be due soon, and I don't know if my professor will
I'll call you when I'm ready.
Look, Mr. McNeal, I was trying to be nice and casual about it, but I've pieced together a lot of the clues of the investigation myself. We should meet so I can talk them over with you.
I'm not falling for that. Goodbye, Miss Harrison.
But wait,
It's been about a week since Mr. Robinson's disappearance, and he hasn't returned yet. I'm worried for him, and I promised Carrie Robinson that I'd solve this case. I get the feeling that the monster and the Madison Maimer are somehow connected. I don't know. Here's the interview with Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray?
I was glad to hear you wanted to talk with me, Royal. I haven't seen you for years. How's your radio job?
I quit. What with the whole World War and all, I couldn't stand being paid to feed propaganda. Now, I search for the truth.
Oh, is that so?
We had to keep a tight script. We couldn't say how bad the war was actually going for America.
And do you think that paid off, lying to the public? Or is it protecting them?
It doesn't matter. We lost anyways, and now whole states are owned by the Red Menace. America's split. Crumbled. It doesn't matter if I think what I did was wrong. The only thing I can do is to tell the truth. I've spent too long on lies.
It seems as though you solved the problem yourself. You know what you did was wrong, and whatever you're doing now, well, it's just your way to fix it. But do you think it'll work?
Mr. Gray, I appreciate your wisdom and insight into my life, but I'm here to talk to you about your relationship with Bella Fields.
Oh. My relationship with her? What do you mean?
Well, it is no lie that Bella Fields was beaten at home. Despite her coming from a rich family, something about Eric made him hurt his daughter.
Yes, it's a shame, isn't it? She just wanted someone to love and care for her. I tried to be there when I could, but I know almost everyone in town. Lots of people come to me with their issues, and I can only fit Bella in every once in a while.
Mr. Gray, might I ask how often that was?
Perhaps once every week or two.
And what exactly is it that you two would do together?
Oh, you know, she generally needed comfort. She would come to me after her dad had hit her. So I was there to bandage her up and help her stand on her own 2 feet.
Mr. Gray, I must ask something possibly personal, but I need to know the answer to it. For my sake, and for Bella's.
Oh?
Do you remember Gary Leftfield? He played on our baseball team.
Yes. Took his life almost 20 years ago. Poor kid. Nobody ever found a reason.
I was close with Gary.
I recall.
Gary was a great kid. We went to the pool almost every day together, and when we were old enough to join Little League, we did. He was a great pitcher, and I could run like him.
Royal, I'm failing to see what the connection is between Gary and Bella.
After that first season of Little League, Gary was never the same. He was more closed, off. He normally wasn't that way, but we were starting to hit that age, so my dad said it was a puberty thing, hormones and all that. But it wasn't, was it? It's taken me years, but now I see it so clear. The amount of children you come into contact with, the amount of people that still see you.
Are you insinuating something, Mr. McNeal?
Yes.
Then I'd prefer for you to come out and say it. My own brain doesn't work as well as it used to. I have trouble connecting all the dots, like you journalists can.
Mr. Gray, I believe that you have been using children for sexual purposes for years, preying on them to satisfy your own needs.
That's quite the accusation, Royal.
It's the only thing that makes sense. Bella Fields was connected to you. She was on her way to your house. Then she died.
Royal, I must ask. If she was on her way to my house when I didn't know she was, how would I know that she was on her way?
I have no evidence that you did not.
You have no evidence that I did. Royal, it's a very rude accusation of you to make, and very insincere. The amount of time I've spent in your life and the life of the past 3 generations, the amount of thought and love I've given them. You were in the Little League team with Gary. I did nothing but encourage you.
You're a very convincing man, Mr. Gray, but I would like to reveal that I've spoken to Mrs. Gray and a few of your victims that have preferred to stay, out of the way. You can fight for yourself all you want, but it is very evident from many eyewitness accounts that you are guilty.
I would like you to turn off the device now, if you don't mind.
There. It's off.
No, it isn't. The red button is lit.
Is that so? Oops. I thought I turned it off.
If you would be so kind.
Of course. My apologies. Oh? I see. The black and white picture on the wall there, what's the significance of it?
Well, you see, it's a family picture. Life was so black and white then. It's a picture of me, my sister, my mother, father.
Is that the beach off of C Street? It looks so different.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you might be surprised to know that things change over time, especially the beach. Erosion affects a lot of nature.
It does. But I must ask, Mr. Gray, what is the importance of the photo?
This was the day everything stopped being so black and white. When color came into my life.
Well, Mr. Gray, I must say that is very vague.
This was the day I saw my father drunk for the first time. Of course, being as young as I was, I never realized it. We'd all just left the beach around 8 p.m., just after sunset. Dad got behind the wheel because he was the least gone of everyone else. Of course, being 5 at the time, I couldn't drive either. I'm sure you know where this is going. My father drove into a pole at full speed. He was killed instantly. His head went into the dashboard and glass ruptured his skull. Everyone else bled out throughout the evening. Then it was just me and my sister left. It took them 3 hours. 3 hours for them to arrive and pick us out of the wreck. My sister died that evening on her bed. And then it was just me. I grew up throughout the orphanages trying to find my place in life, but never able to overcome the guilt. If I had just known.
I'm sorry that happened to you. It must not have been easy.
No, it wasn't. My first home was perfect for the first 3 weeks. And then I started getting more and more chores. I became a glorified slave. So I ran away. They picked me up and tried to send me back. But I clawed out that man's eyes. I wasn't going back.
It sounds like you've had a rough life, but I still don't understand why you are the way you are.
I'm not sure. I wanted to give the type of fatherly love that I never had as a kid. And it started off great. I started as a teacher and taught for a few years, and that's when I met my ex-wife. We taught together and we became infatuated with each other, but when life was starting to brighten up again, it turned black. We got married and I realized that I had feelings for one of my students. I was about 30 at the time. We never did anything, but I realized that since I missed out on my childhood, I wanted to provide everything I could to these children, especially the ones who were hurt as much as me.
You never had those thoughts before your marriage?
No, not once.
Did you know about Gary Leftfield?
Yes, Gary.
And you know why he committed suicide.
Yes.
Then why are you still doing what it is you're doing? Why aren't you better? You killed someone, ruined someone's life.
Yes.
And you aren't remorseful.
No.
Why?
To affect someone's life is so good. I have so much sway in someone's life to be able to do that.
So, it's a power trip? To be able to affect someone's life like that?
Without strictness and discipline in someone's life, they'll end up like me. Everything they know will be gone. But I was the one constant in their lives, the one good thing, the one thing they could control. And they were the one thing I could control. Just like I was the only constant in their lives, they were the only constant in mine. So much change happening, so much hatred. I needed love. And someone to hold and understand me just as much as I could hold and understand them.
That's sick, twisted.
Call me whatever you like, Royal, but you're no star yourself.
I never claimed to be, but I've also never caused someone to kill themselves or ruin the lives of children.
You say so, but you did.
Oh, did I now? Am I equally as bad as you?
Yes, you were a journalist. One who lied to people, told them that they were safe when they weren't. Do you know how many died in the initial invasions? Or how many people you sent off to war just to die in a bloody massacre?
It's why I'm not a journalist anymore. I couldn't take the constant lying. We have a code of ethics we learned about in school, but nobody actually ever used it. Not when there was money involved.
You're just as guilty as me. In fact, you've killed more than I ever have.
No, don't try and turn this around on me. Did you or did you not kill Bella Fields?
Wouldn't you like to know? You claim to not be a journalist anymore, but here you are accusing innocent old men of lies.
Not this time. You won't gaslight me. I have been recording this whole time, and I'm sure the police would be interested to hear what you've said.
Is that so? Just like a journalist. You go back on your words, and after promising not to record, you do so anyway. Here I thought I could trust you, that we could be friends.
Mr. Gray, I wish you enjoyed the last few years you have in prison. We'll never be able to fix all those lives you ruined, but at least your victims will sleep easily knowing that you're behind bars.
I suppose we shall see what happens next, won't we, Mr. McNeal? There's so much more that you don't know.
Your venomous words won't sway me. I don't want to know anything else about you.
Farewell, Mr. McNeal.
Quite the interesting meeting with Mr. Gray. He confessed to the horrible things he's done, but didn't confess to murder. I'll admit, he started getting to me a bit. I started to get angry with him, and I'm not sure I got as much information out of him as I could have. But he's given me enough to finish him off. I'm driving to the police station now, where I will hand over the audio proof of his confessions. I'm here at Bella's neighborhood. I'm taking a walk down the lane, trying to figure out if I can find any extra evidence that the police may have forgotten. Of course, it's been over half a year, and I'm not sure much will still be around, but we'll see. The body was found here, right on the sidewalk. She was face down, looking straight up at the sky. If she was right there, then it must be... She was looking in this direction, forward. What I don't understand is how a girl goes for a walk in a safe neighborhood and gets gunned down. Before her death, the worst crime that was ever committed was a small break-in a year previously. Bushes, lamppost, neighborhood watch sign. Yet nothing seems to be here. Nothing new. I'm going crazy from all of this. It's as if she simply was shot from the heavens. But the audio recording shows that she clearly saw someone and recognized them. So who are they? Who would gun down a teenager? Hello?
Hello? Is this Royal McNeal?
This is he. Who am I talking to?
This is Detective Harvey Wayne, Madison Police Department. I was calling on behalf of the audio you submitted to the precinct.
Yes. Is there any progress on the case?
Unfortunately, we can't do anything else without further evidence.
You're kidding. He admitted it on tape. You're not pulling my chain like last time, right?
Your evidence could have been tampered, edited, or Mr. Gray could have been influenced in some way to say what he said.
What if I got more people to speak up, to act as a witness?
That would certainly help your case.
All right. Thanks, Detective. I'll see who I can talk to. Have you made any progress on the Fields case?
That case, it's been dead in the water for a few months now. Whomever the killer was, they probably skipped town or gotten away with it. I will say, it's the only case that I've worked on that has bothered me beyond my wits. I just don't know why someone would want to kill a seemingly innocent nobody. Her parents had money, but not enough to ransom her. Her friends is pretty much left for college. There's next to nothing to show that she was anything but an average person.
Was there any interesting persons in the case?
You know I'm not allowed to disclose that information.
Why? It's not an active case anymore.
It's more for her sake. By the way, Mr. Gray called a few weeks ago after your interview. I've never heard that man so mad.
Because I exposed him for what he is.
Hell, regardless, if you're going after this case and pissing people off, I'm not taking any part of that.
I understand, Detective. But just know that I'll solve this case.
Mm-hmm. Well, good luck.
Hey, I'm sorry to call you about this, but I just wanted to see if you'd be willing to meet. The case is progressing positively, and it looks like Mr. Gray is going to see the inside of a cell soon. I understand why Wayne didn't give me the information I wanted, but I really wish I'd gotten just a bit more out of him. Huh? What's that? A glint in the sun, over by the pole. Look! A necklace! The chain is broken. If found, call 111-023-5284. And there's a picture of a girl inside. She looks to be in her late teens, brown hair, blue eyes, freckles. I don't know if she's related to Bella, but I guess I'll give this number a call. Hi, this is Royal McNeal. I used to host the MAD1 radio, but now I'm an investigative podcaster. I've been working on the Bella Fields murder by the Madison Maimer. Do you know who Miss Fields was?
Yes, I knew her.
If you don't mind my asking, what is your relationship to the victim?
I was her best friend in high school. We had a falling out about a month before she was killed, though.
Would you mind meeting over coffee? Perhaps tomorrow morning at the Madison Mocha Tavern, say 10 a.m.?
I'd be able to do that, yeah.
Might I know your name for my notes?
Elise Hampton.
Thank you, Miss Hanton. I'll see you tomorrow. Another one?
Hello, Mr. McNeal?
Virginia Harrison.
You remembered my name?
I've been hunting stories for years. Names come easy for me.
Oh. Okay, well, I was calling to see what progress you've made on the case.
I think I'm getting somewhere. I'll be stopping by Bella Fields' friend's house tomorrow. I should be able to get more information.
I just got a phone call from a girl who's been missing for close to 40 years.
Oh? Why would they call you?
I don't know, but she seemed desperate from what I could make out.
What do you mean?
She kept asking if I knew Hope Wilson. When I told her no, she would yell and get angry. It almost seemed like she was in a tunnel or something, because her voice kept going in and out of service. It was very choppy, almost robotic.
Then it seems like you have a case on your hands.
Can you help me?
No, I'm sorry. You'll have to pursue it by yourself. I have my own worries.
I've never found myself to be religious. Well, that's not entirely true. I've always been off and on. I figure if there's a big guy up there, that he knows me and what I've done. One day I'll seek redemption. Guess that might be today. I've done a lot of bad stuff, and I need to get it off my chest.
Royal? Royal McNeal, as I live and breathe? I haven't seen you in ages. What brings you into the Lord's house this evening?
I know, you're not Catholic, you don't do the whole, Hail Mary things, and I get forgiven, but I need a consultant.
Is this something God should hear in his house?
He should probably know.
All right. Royal, take a seat on the chair here. We'll talk for a bit.
Thanks, Pastor.
How can I help your troubles tonight, Mr. McNeal?
Well, I've been having issues.
What kind of issues?
I've been going back and forth debating. Are you familiar with the Madison Maimer?
Indeed. He killed Bella Fields, an infrequent member of the church, but not any less loved. It was a shame to read about her in the paper. And Ford, and Valerie. He's been out there for a while.
Yeah. I quit my job at MAD1 to pursue it. The case, that is.
Oh? And where have you gotten in that?
I feel like I'm getting closer, but it has become an obsession. Something that I'm really struggling with.
That can't be good. How has it affected your life?
I've lost everything. I'm behind on house payments, and I've had to sell most of what I own just to eat. Though nobody would ever notice. I've hidden it so well.
What's more important to you in your life? Material possessions or the truth?
I thought the truth was more important, but I've come to realize that it's hard to live without basic necessities.
That is true. Have you called on any of your friends?
I've lost a lot of people in the war. I almost signed up myself. I believed everything I was spewing, until that night in the boss's office. And that's when I learned all the lies. And it really changed me.
It must be hard having your worldview thrown upside down like that. What did you do to understand it?
Well, now that I think about it, really, nothing. I threw myself into work, but I've never come to terms with the lies that I've told, the people I've killed.
I see. You've taken the guilt onto yourself and blamed you for the words spoken.
It's been chipping away at me. I've been so obsessed with finding the truth. I've never sat down to think about what I've done.
And what makes you think that you're the person who killed all those people? Is it not the user of the whip that bestows pain, not the bystander?
The bystander is equally as guilty for stepping aside and letting it happen.
Are they? What if the bystander was blindfolded and wearing earmuffs, completely ignorant to what is happening in front of them? Are they still guilty?
I don't know. Is it murder when the bystander tells the victim to wait for the whip?
I suppose that is where your answer lies. If you truly did not know the lies fed to you, then your anger shouldn't be placed in yourself, but in those who willingly shaped your world out of glass.
But what if he is guilty?
Then God knows his true heart. Remorse is a powerful thing, Mr. McNeal. It's a skill to know you're wrong and seek to change it, than to be ignorant and seek not to know it.
Thanks. I think I'm beginning to see it now.
My pleasure. Always good to see you around, Mr. McNeal. I hope this conversation has helped.
It has.
Then, if there's nothing else, I bid you adieu. I'm expecting someone in about 10 minutes.
Thanks. I'll, see you for the next Sunday service.
I'm sure we'll meet again in the future, at some point.
Good night.
Pastor, I hope you don't mind, but I've come early for Mr. McNeal. Didn't expect to see you here.
Emmett Gray? I didn't realize someone like you could step foot in a church. I thought you'd be smited on the spot.
Oh, you have me all wrong, Royal. There's so much more to me than you know. I've come to repent. I've been meeting with the good pastor for a few weeks now. Ever since our meeting, you've changed my heart, Mr. McNeal. I'm a different man.
Oh, I'm sure. You've been forgiven of your horrendous sins.
Mr. McNeal, I'll remind you that if you can seek forgiveness in God, so can He. It may not make your actions right, but it can help to fix them.
You know what he's done, and you're okay with forgiving him?
It's not my forgiveness to give, Mr. McNeal. I'm merely here as a vessel to help Mr. Gray's conscience. My opinions don't matter. Only God's.
Hello, Virginia Harrison? I'm ready to meet now.
Mr. McNeal, I'm glad you're willing to meet me.
You claim to know about the case. Go ahead and tell me what you know.
Well, I've already done a bit of digging. I've drawn lines between everyone. Every victim has been a young adult, except for the potential victim, John Robinson, who's in his 40s.
Okay.
And I've met and talked with a few people. I grew up with Ellis Hanton. We shared a bond.
Shared a bond? How so?
Do you know Emmett Gray? He's a sports person.
The baseball coach? Yes, I do.
Well, he's a pedophile. He ruined my life, and Ellis's, and Bella's. Sometimes he'd have us over all at once.
I'm sorry to hear that. You didn't deserve what's happened to you. I hope he suffers indescribable pains that he can only imagine an ounce of what you've been through.
Thanks, Royal. It's messed me up. I've been obsessed with finding evidence, a truth. Because when I went to my parents, my mentors, they all turned me down. They never believed me. He's so popular in the community that he got away with it.
He won't get away with it. Not at all. I'll make sure of that.
And me too. My best friends' lives have been ruined. I almost overdosed. I still struggle with my addictions. Sometimes my mind is hazy, but he weasels his way in no matter what.
I'm sorry, Virginia. Is there anything I can do?
You can let me in on your case. You can help me bring the Maimer who killed my friend and the man who ruined my life to justice.
I'm sorry, Virginia, but I don't feel comfortable taking you under my wing with the Maimer around. If something happens to me, then it'll happen to you, too. I can't put you through that.
You can't decide what I can and can't go through. I know my life. I've survived. I've fought. I can defend myself.
I know, you sound like a fighter, but that's not what we need right now. We need careful and meticulous planning so that we can bring evil to justice.
So you're just going to deny me? This is my case, mine to solve.
We still don't know if Gray is the Maimer or someone else. It's not your case. It's too personal, a conflict of interest. You should be looking after that Hope Wilson case.
You're telling me that this is a conflict of interest. He's guilty! Guilty of murder, of pedophilia, of ruining lives, my life! And you're going to tell me no?
I'm sorry, Miss Harrison. I can't begin to fathom what you're going through. I can only hope it gets a little bit easier for you. Maybe you'll find peace in the Hope Wilson case.
There's nothing there! No mention of a Hope Wilson in town. Nobody knows her. The case is dead before it even started. Plus, it doesn't matter to me as much as when the case is right in front of me. My case.
Good luck. but you won't be hearing from me again. Miss Hanton? Elise Hanton. Hello? Must not be home. Elise? Hello? Why wouldn't she open the door? I should keep one hand on my sidearm just in case. There's glass shattering from the back of the house. I should go see what's happening. I hope she's okay. The grass around the side of the house is rough, cold, the blade sharp. Silence fills the air as I slowly creep around the red exterior. The backyard is long, extensive, empty. In the distance, I see something running. Someone? It's sprinting like its life depended on it. Hey, you! Stop! I'm chasing after him, removing my sidearm when...
Help.
Elise! Where are you?
Porch.
I rush over to her and inspect the area. It looks like 2 windows have been broken. One from the second story and the other from the first. The second story is covered in blood. It's dripping down the wall, running down the already red-painted exteriors and pooling at the ground. The glass on the ground floor, though shattered, doesn't seem to have caused any injuries. Elise is on the floor, heaving. She's missing her fingers, and glass seems to have torn through her stomach, her ribs, at the backside of her arms. I feel sick. Oh, she's staring at me. Desperately. I've never seen something like this before. I've only ever talked about it on the radio, but now somebody's actually bleeding out right in front of me. She's dying. I gotta move. I gotta help her.
Please, Mr. McNeal, help. It hurts so much. I can't breathe.
It's simple, Royal. Really simple. Move your hands, tear off your shirt, and use it to apply pressure to the wounds. Stop staring. Stop doing nothing. All you have to do is act.
Mr. McNeal.
Look, you can still save her. She's still in front of you. You can save her. It's not that much blood. It's not. The light in her eyes is... It's gone. She's dead. It's my fault. I couldn't do anything to save her. There's so much. I froze. And I connect. I froze. I've got to call the police. Quick, do something. "911, I've got an injured person here at 131 C Street. Send an ambulance. Send the police. I think I saw the suspect leaving the area, and I'm chasing after them." This green space is so extensive. There's trees at the end of it, though. That must be where the culprit ran off to. That person that was running must have been them. I can't see him anymore. Think, Royal, think. What did he look like? Oh God, was it even a he? Damn it! Ah, you bastard! Where did you go? I'll catch up eventually. I'm only about halfway through the field. The sun is beating down on my neck, and I'm already starting to get tired. Oh, man, I'm out of shape. Just a bit more. There we are. Oh, I just crossed the threshold. Oh, but that person, where could they have gone? This forest is bigger than I thought. There, a movement in the trees. I'm just gonna pull out my gun and get ready for...
Help!
Mr. Robinson? John?
Royal, please. It hurts so much.
Hold on. John, let me move over to you. What's wrong? What happened to you? Where have you been for 3 weeks?
Look, I can already feel myself going. Something is wrong. I can't see. But I need your help while I can get it.
I won't freeze now. John, look at me. Oh my God. Your eyes. Where did they go?
It's too late for me. Listen, you were right, Mr. Gray. Mr. Gray. Old cabin mile. Tell my wife.
John, stick with me. John! Damn it! He's not breathing. Not again. Not again. You have a wife and children to go back to. John, come on! They're here. Do I chase into the woods or let the detective know? Gah!
You're telling me there's another dead body in the forest?
Yes, John Robinson.
Jeez. What have you been doing out here?
I was supposed to meet Elise since she was so close to Bella. She was late, so I came here just in time to... I couldn't save her. And the killer got away, and when I tried to chase after him, I ran into John Robinson, who was blinded and seemingly trying to escape from the woods.
Really? Strange.
We've got to go right now and catch him before he moves again. We're so close.
Anything else, Royal?
Yes. Robinson spoke of a cabin 1 mile in, and Mr. Gray, though he didn't explain their connections.
Well, you'll be pleased to hear that we've already arrested Mr. Gray under a variety of charges.
And that's great to hear. At least there's one good thing that happened this day.
Royal McNeal, I'm placing you under arrest for the assisted murders of John Robinson, Elise Hampton, Bella Fields, Ford Hamilton, Joseph Stanton, Valerie Barnes, and Cheryl Tunip.
Whoa! Wait, you can't charge me with their murders. I didn't do them. I'm not the Maimer.
You're the only person with a connection to every case.
I didn't know Bella. I didn't know Ford. I just met Elise yesterday.
Is that so? Well, let me tell you the clues I'm seeing. You were a journalist so distraught with the evil you'd done, you snapped. You went to your mentor for help, ripe with fury. To help get that fury out, he told you to start murdering to get rid of things that were getting a bit too close for Gray to handle. Some loose ends that weren't quite broken enough for him to feel safe. Whenever you'd get angry and he'd get worried, he'd send you out. You were supposed to off Robinson in the woods, but he got away from you, running through the neighborhood before you finally caught up to him and finished him off in the most brutal way you could think of. Unfortunately, Elise witnessed this and tried to hide in her house. And that's where you broke in through the front garage and threw her out the second-story window and tried to make it seem like a normal break-in. But then you decided to keep on going after she was down, continuously attacking her until you heard the sirens, and then you ran inside and cleaned up, pretending to make it seem like you were innocent.
That's outrageous. Your timetable, it's all wrong. I couldn't have possibly done that many things while I was out there. It doesn't make any sense.
I've been suspecting you for a while now, but you finally sealed your fate.
Check the time of death on the bodies, or blood samples. You'll see that I couldn't have possibly done any of it. Please. You don't understand. He's getting away.
Nobody's getting away, Royal. Not this time. Gray's behind bars, and soon you will be too. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Royal McNeal, as I live and breathe.
Emmett Gray, of all the people.
I hope you two get comfortable in your cells together. All right, boys. No fighting, no blood. I'm not dealing with it tonight. Your attorneys will be here tomorrow morning. He got you too, didn't he?
Clearly.
Sure is a shame. You were so close to solving it.
I did solve it, you psycho. Not only did you manipulate children, but you also killed them.
Me? Oh, I'd never kill anyone. I wouldn't harm a fly. Well, not one that could fight back anyway.
Still claiming innocence.
No, I'm not innocent of the crimes I've committed, but God will forgive me.
You think God will forgive you for the most horrendous things imaginable to man?
Yes.
You're delusional.
God sees the flaws in people and knows when they truly repent. That's when he forgives. I've repented. I am truly remorseful for the things that I've done wrong.
This is certainly a change of character for you, Gray. I thought you were some beast.
I am a beast, a devil, a demon. Truly terrible. I was seeking redemption that evening when you saw me at the church.
I know, but the church shouldn't hand out redemption to people like you.
The pastor told you that they did, and he was right. God has changed my heart.
God can't change your heart. People don't change.
The pastor told you they did, and he was right. God has changed my heart.
God can't change your heart. People don't change. You are what you are.
It's a shame that you think that.
You've ruined countless lives. You think those children can forgive you? Or their souls for the ones you've killed?
They don't need to. Only God can forgive me. No amount of excuses will ever make up for what I did. And I never expect them to forgive me. I'd never be able to forgive me.
All right, Emmett.
Mr. McNeal, you're not the killer.
I know.
Neither am I.
That's something I find harder to believe.
If I was the killer, then you would have found evidence by this point.
That's flawed logic. You could have hid the evidence, changed it, tampered with it.
You're making the same argument that Wayne made.
How do you know the argument the detective made?
Because just before he arrested me for the evidence he has on you, he confessed to me.
What did he confess?
That he is the Maimer.
What? Still lying to me, I see.
No lies. I don't do that anymore.
Just because you think God has forgiven you, it doesn't mean the rest of us have. I'm not taking information from a delusional old man.
You don't need to. The cell door isn't even locked. The doors are too old. Wayne just hopes that people don't figure it out. Now walk over to his desk and find the hollow floorboard. Look underneath it.
And how do you know of this location?
Because I'm the one who told him to hide it there.
So you did assist him?
I didn't know he was a murderer. Just look and see.
If this door is unlocked, why haven't you left yet?
Trust me, I'm safer in here.
Here's his desk. Let me see. Must be this one. Let's see what he's got stored under the floorboards. Necklace? With a phone number on it? Bella's phone number. It's designed exactly like Elise's. Like a best friend charm. This is nearly identical to the necklace I found yesterday. But this one has a latch in it. If I press this button, it opens up and reveals a picture of Detective Wayne. This doesn't make any sense. Why did I find Elise's necklace at the scene of the crime? And why does Wayne have the necklace now? I left the jail as fast as I could. I suppose that means I'm on the run now from the cops. Not like it matters much. There's only a few cops in town. All evidence is pointing towards Wayne as the Maimer, but what I can't figure out was Elise's part in this. Why was her locket near the first scene of the crime? Why was Grace so sure about Wayne? Why would I hear sirens from down the street after John's death if Wayne is the murderer? Well, it doesn't make any sense. Why would he allow John to run away instead of hunting him down and killing him so he didn't get to speak? I guess I'll find out one way or another. Elise is dead, so I can't learn from her. John, Bella, all of these people. It used to be that every victim was before the age of 25, but John is an exception. He's much older. Why? Where could I go to? That's it. I know where I'll go. I should have seen this coming.
I see. Interesting story, Royal.
What do you think?
I can't give away that information, but I see where your thoughts lie. I suppose you might be on the right track.
Might?
Indeed, might. I don't know the case as well as you do, nor do I know who the Maimer might be. But it seems like there are two suspects, and one of them has repented his evil ways.
What's it matter if he's repented? He still could have done it.
Could he have? He's an old man, and you said it yourself. He's a master manipulator, but he's frail. He may have been stronger when he was younger, but I'd reckon that he probably couldn't even steal candy from a baby. He wouldn't be able to get away. So, do you think he could have killed Bella Fields and multiple other victims in cold blood?
It only takes one bullet. That's it. Doesn't matter what else.
But the bodies have been maimed. Do you think an old man is capable of hacking bodies to pieces, or in the case of John Robinson, carrying a man to his car and taking him into the woods?
I suppose not, but he has motivation for every murder.
He has motivation for John Robinson?
From my interview with his son, I think Gray might have...
That's horrible. But I'm not sure you're quite right.
Why do you keep defending him at every turn? He's a bad man. And probably a murderer. He's ruined lives. My best friend killed himself because of Gray, and you're standing here defending him.
Everyone has a chance for redemption, and I believe he has more than redeemed himself in the eyes of the Lord. Sure, I see him as a despicable human, but I don't believe that he is capable of what you're accusing him of.
It's people like you who make me sick. You're so focused on God and religion, preaching like you're holier than everyone else, like everyone has a chance at enlightenment. And then you wash away sins like they never happened, but they did. There are people alive with the scars to prove it. Yet you can still see the good in someone truly awful.
You came to me for help, Royal. I'm giving you my advice. I don't believe he did it. I don't believe he can do it. I believe he's truly trying to change. If you don't like what I have to say, then hopefully you can find your own truth, as long as it doesn't hurt others.
again with your holier-than-thou. You feel emotions, you feel conflicts, and here you are, acting like you don't.
Mr. McNeal, please leave.
I get up and leave without another word, closing the great oak doors behind me. I admit, I took out a bit more anger and frustration on him than I should have, but I don't understand how someone can forgive such heinous crimes and turn the other cheek. At this point, it's not even about the man, but everyone else that fell into his clutches. Is it fair to forgive a man that has ruined so many other lives? Is it even for God to give forgiveness when so many have killed themselves or suffered through PTSD? I'm a journalist, and if all my years on the force have taught me anything, it's that people never change. I've seen the same politicians enter office, tell the same lies, but have different names. I've been one of those liars. But not anymore. I will find the truth. I will find justice. But the question is, where do I look? Where can I... Oh, I'm on a spree today. I'll go back to the forest, back to where John died. And I'll see if I can find the cabin he was talking about. It's probably the cabin that I found Bella Field's stuff in. I should have looked at this sooner. I should have explored the woods. You think I would have known this by now? There's no one here. The cops are gone, coming around the side of the house. It's almost surprising to see how well they cleaned up the body and the blood. The windows are boarded up. The glass is gone, yet not even the hint of a chalk outline. It's as if there's no memory of Elise's death here at all. Moving through the darkness, I can't help but notice the sky. Bright pink with a hint of red dancing through. It worries me, such a bloody sky beating down on me. Something bad is going to happen tonight. It's just my gut feeling. Intuition. Something wrong is creeping across the shadows, inching for me. And I'm none the wiser, armed with only my wit to defend myself. Something's... John's body is gone. I guess the cops could have picked it up, but it's merely been a few hours since I was last here. Something isn't right. That sounds like footsteps. I've got to hide. That tree will do just the right width. That sounds like the college girl I've been talking to. Virginia Harrison. Virginia, here. What is it you need?
Royal? Are you out here, or is my mind...
Virginia, I'm behind this tree. I step out from the tree and look into the darkness. A thick, unsettling mist is beginning to find its way into the evening. It's like a million cobwebs everywhere, and trying to see through the string. My vision is so fogged, so crowded, but I can still make out her form through the darkness.
Mr. McNeal! You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
A tear runs down her cheek. Something, or someone, has spooked her. Virginia, what's wrong? What did you see?
I think I found the Maimer. On the edge of the forest, there's an old cave. It's by the seashore.
A cave?
Yes, it's about a mile past this old, weird-looking cabin.
Oh, I should have known he wouldn't have gone too far. John was talking about the cabin.
You know the cabin?
Yes, it's the cabin where I first found Bella Fields' phone.
You found Bella Fields' phone? What was on it?
I'll tell you when I finish my report.
If we're going to be out here together, then you need to tell me the information.
No, Virginia. I think you should go home. Whatever it was that spooked you is still out there.
I can handle it. By myself, it would have been tough, but with two of us, anything is possible.
No, it's too dangerous for you to go.
No, it's not!
What happened in that Hope Wilson case you were going after anyways?
That's why I'm out here. The case led me here.
You've had progress?
Yes, I think something happened out here in the woods. Nobody remembered Hope Wilson, except for one person who said she went to school with her back in ancient times.
And what's the lead?
Well, it turns out that she saw Hope Wilson walking out here with a man in a red suit and a little girl.
You think they're dead?
I don't know, but if they are, then I'll need to find the bones.
So you decided it was best to wander the woods at night?
No, I was out here all day looking for some scrap of evidence. But I don't know what anyone was wearing besides a red suit. I don't know where they went, if they stayed in the forest or went to the beach. That's why I need to come with you. I need to finish this case, or at least find more evidence. And no one is going to stop me.
You're a college student. What, 20? 19? You're exactly the demographic that the Maimer would target. And you are out near his lair.
Mr. McNeal, with all due respect, I can more than handle myself.
Virginia, it doesn't matter how you grew up. You have a life to live. I never forgive myself if something bad happened to you. You're just a child.
I'm an adult, and I can make my own decisions.
You're right. If I've learned anything from this case, is that adults can handle themselves. Let's go.
I'm going... Oh. You said yes? Wasn't expecting that.
Just don't die. If things look tough, you go ahead and save yourself, okay?
Okay.
Look, I don't like it as much as you don't. Bringing a college girl alone with me into the woods, it looks bad from all angles, especially if she winds up dead. I'll look like a suspect and this case will fall apart, but she's intelligent. More so than I thought she'd be. I think she can take care of herself.
Royal, I need to know. What exactly have you seen?
What do you mean?
There's something out here in the woods with us. Something... big.
I'm not sure I understand you.
Either a monster or a really tall and fat man is wandering the woods with us tonight. Have any of your studies led you to believing a monster might... exist?
Yes, actually. The night John Robinson disappeared, there was supposedly a monster.
Any other information?
It's supposed to be small, goblin-like.
Small? Could there be two monsters?
I don't know.
Royal, get down! Get some cover! This is the monster.
Look, there's someone out there. I need to call the cops right now. You may as well kill yourself and bleed the case before you get locked up in jail.
I'd recognize that voice anywhere. I've listened to the recording so many times, but...
Royal, get down! Get some cover. This is the monster.
Hello?
What? A monster?
Hello?
Who in the blazes is that voice? It's like multiple voices all at once.
Please, I didn't do anything wrong.
Something's not right. The voices, they keep changing. That sounded like John Robinson, but he, Elise, Bella are all dead. What do I do? Does this creature have any sentience? Can I appeal to its emotion?
Hello? Hello? You're watching the neighborhood right now.
It's best not to engage. I'll let it pass and regroup with Virginia. But I've got a clear sight of it. Oh my god. It's hideous. It's a beast, a monster. It has Bella's hair, her arm, her leg, but the other leg is a man's leg. The other arm has long fingernails. Something Bella's corpse didn't have. The eyes, they're glassy. Dead, yet they stare. The eyelids blink with ferocity, constantly wetting the pupils beneath. The face, it's like a woman's cheek combined with a man's nose. The forehead is scarred, disheveled, destroyed, yet sewn together in a series of pieces. The scars run all through the body, all through the head. Pieces of different flesh sewn together. From different people. It has to be. This is some form of Frankenstein. Some unholy amalgamation of humans. Bastard's bastardization of poor people.
Please, I didn't do anything wrong. Please, help me.
Virginia, is it gone?
It looks like it.
What was that thing?
I think that was our culprit.
That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean?
Didn't you see it had various body parts from different victims sewn together? This is the monster. We need to find the Frankenstein. Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Exactly. No owls, no crickets, no noise.
What does that mean?
Something's wrong. Virginia, we need to get going. Now. Run for it.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Shit.
Royal, look out!
Oof.
Hello?
Hey, you! Look here!
Hello?
Virginia, no. Don't take its attention. I told you, run.
Please, I didn't do anything wrong. Neighborhood? What? Look, David's supposed to be watching the neighborhood right now.
Virginia!
I'm fine. I got the monster.
You had a gun?
I'm a 19-year-old walking around in the woods by herself. Of course I have a gun. Do you not?
It was confiscated from me when I was arrested.
You were arrested?
No time for that. Let's see if we can find out anything from the body.
It's so gross.
Those poor people. They didn't deserve what happened to them.
Do you see anything, Royal?
Besides victims, no. There's nothing on the body. No money, no ID, no weapons, just dirt. Poor, poor people.
I've never shot anyone before.
It's okay. It's not your fault. It would have killed us.
It's not that. It feels almost empowering.
Just be careful where you point that thing, all right?
Yeah, all right.
Put the safety on.
I know how to use a gun, Royal.
Right. Sorry.
What next?
the coast. There's a cave off the edge of the water, right?
Yeah, you're right.
We make our way to the beach through the night forest. The sounds slowly begin to return after the death of the monster. Crickets sing and owls hoot as if they're celebrating the death. Yet I can't help but feel pity. That thing didn't ask to be alive, and the people it was made from, they didn't deserve the fate that they got.
Royal, that looks like the mouth of the cave.
Huh? Right. I'd say so.
We're gonna have to sludge through some water, it looks like.
Good thing we aren't witches.
You might not be.
Is water going to melt you?
No.
Then you're fine. Be ready for anything. We don't know who's in this cave.
I will be.
Keep your hand on the gun, but don't shoot unless we have to.
You act like you've done this before.
I've seen enough movies. Plus, when my buddies came back from the war, they'd teach me to shoot. We'd play airsoft, and they taught me some basic tactics.
The anti-war soldier learning to fight. Ironic.
It's better to keep a pointy stick and not use it than to have no stick at all.
Sun Tzu.
Something like that.
Oh, my creation, where'd you go? Why are you gone? You had such a lovely night. We were going to practice reading, but you decided to go for a little stroll. How disappointing. I was so looking forward to our time together.
Virginia, I hear his voice.
Me too.
How should we approach?
Why are you asking me?
I don't know.
Didn't you just talk about learning tactics from your military buddies?
I get it. No need to insult me. I'm going to go confront him. You stay back. Stay out of sight. He can't know you're here.
Why?
Because it's better to seem like I came alone. He'll feel more at ease.
Okay.
Madison Maimer, I've come for you.
Ah, you think you caught me off guard. You see, Royal, I've been expecting you. Ever since you quit the station, I've been watching your progress. You got stumped for a while there, so I pointed you toward the cabin. Gave you Bella's phone.
Is that so? Then why would you want to help me?
Because your brain, your mind, it's just so juicy. You're so creative, so intelligent, so ready to get to the truth. I need it.
Need my truth? Or my brain?
Oh, don't joke with me, Royal. You're not funny. You see, that's the downside to being so smart. Your jokes just don't sit well.
Detective Harvey Wayne. I suppose you're the Madison Maimer.
Oh, you. You know, it took you quite a while, but you arrived at both the metaphorical and literal conclusions of your story. I, Detective Harvey Wayne of the MPD, am the Madison Maimer.
That was grand.
You like it? Yeah, I figured you were probably recording for your little podcast. I wanted to give you a good soundbite.
Why did you murder all those people?
Jumping right to the conclusions? That's not like you, Royal.
I want to hear you speak as little as possible.
Oh, but don't you see? It's time for my monologue.
Wayne, you're not some supervillain. You're a psycho. Simple as that.
I'm not giving an evil villain monologue, no. I'm the good guy in all of this.
Of course you are.
Oh, please. You wouldn't even begin to understand. I always left you little clues. Bella's phone, Elisa's pendant. Things that should never have been in the places that they were. I even made John tell you there's a cabin in the forest to try to see if you'd overcome a small obstacle. And you've broken through every barrier, solved every little mystery. And now you're standing right in front of me, pretending that we were foes all along, when all you've ever done is played right into my hand.
I've done no such thing.
Oh, really? And when was the last time you solved a part of this mystery? Trick question. You never solved anything. I've given it to you in the guise of clues, but I was there every step of the way to see if you could make it through the mental hurdles. You're like Moriarty to my Holmes.
Isn't this supposed to be where you give your backstory? Explain to my audience why you're a bad guy.
I'm not the bad guy, Royal. I'm the hero. I'm the scientist who will push the boundaries further than any man could have expected.
Is that so? And why will you do that? How?
Well, perhaps you've heard of a person named Emmett Gray. A very wonderful and amazing man. Taught me everything I know.
Emmett isn't an amazing man. He's a pedophile and a shitbag.
Ho! It seems as though we have another joining our ranks tonight, eh, Royal?
I told you to stay in the shadows.
Hoping to assassinate me? And who might you be, little girl?
Virginia Harrison, the woman who's going to kick your ass.
Oh, and here I thought you were going to be a confused little schoolgirl. Yet your mouth spits venom at me. Your name sounds like a heroine. Or maybe an evil villain. Perhaps both. I see murder in your eyes, hatred, and a little bit of fear. Tell me, what's your story? What are you looking to do here this evening?
I wanted to bring you down.
Righteous. I see. You know, you're different than Royal here. Interesting. I might like to talk to you a bit more. Perhaps your brain is a suitable replacement for his.
You won't be getting my brain.
Oh, I'm not really asking. By the end of the night, I'll be cutting deep into your skull, carefully extracting your brain and making sure not to cut any of the cords. And then I'll transfer it to my perfect human. I'll rearrange it, fix it. And then mankind will truly have evolved. Or I'll do it to Royal. Or perhaps even both of you. I'll see which one makes the better human.
Why do you want mankind to evolve?
Wouldn't you? I mean, look at yourself. You're broken, disheveled. In 20 years, your fertility will be gone. In 60 years, you'll be dead and buried as if your life never happened. But with my creation, it's a perfect combination of male, female, intelligence, brawn. It will never age. Its brain will never go bad.
Your creation? You mean the one that's dead in the woods?
My... what? Dead in the woods?
Virginia shot it.
You bitch. You've no idea what you've done. You've put progress back a full year.
It looked like a bunch of rotting skin and flesh. I put it down like a dog.
It is not rotting. I'm sure the coloration has changed because of the lack of blood, but the creation is perfect. It won't continue to grow, but it won't fall apart either.
Sounds like you've got this all thought through.
Yes, I did. Until you stepped in and ruined it. Well, looks like we'll have to start all over. Good thing I have the perfect specimen right here in front of me. Your body is slim. Well crafted. Yeah, I'd like to make it better.
I will put a bullet in your head before you can even take 2 steps towards me.
I'm sure you will. Now, where was I before Brainless here stepped in?
Emmett Gray.
Ah, right. The brilliant man he was taught me everything I know. Say, Virginia, do you know who we're speaking about, or do I need to explain that too?
I know who he is.
Ah, more venom. Another victim. Wonderful.
Wonderful? I've dealt with PTSD since I was 6.
He was perfecting you. Those who broke were least likely to be found again. He created an almost perfect human. And then he came for me. But I was so enthralled, so enamored that I convinced him to teach me his ways. We became partners, and we systematically hunted and took down people who were deeply connected to him and broken. And then we brought him back.
Why did Bella Fields say Dad at the end of her audio log?
Oh, that thing. Well, it was a red herring. Something to help you get started, but enough to throw you off track until I was ready. You see, if you poke and prod around enough in the brain, you can get someone to say anything you want them to. And then you just turn on a recorder and hide it for a noisy, morality-torn journalist to find. The rest is history.
But why would you saw off Bella's arm and leg and then drop her body off at the streets of her neighborhood? Why wouldn't you just hide her? It doesn't seem like anyone was getting close to solving Gray's past murders, let alone your first.
Oh, well, perhaps your mind is simple indeed. There's no conflict. There's no thrill of the chase. If there's nobody coming after you, then what's the point of doing it?
I thought you were doing it for science.
Yes, I am. But I need a few yanks on my chain here and there, if you catch my drift.
I can't help but notice Gray isn't with you.
That's right, he's not. I got tired of his company. He made one failed creation after another, but not me. When I finally got it right, I kicked him to the curb, locked him in prison, and left him. He was getting sentimental, remorseful. He lost sight of the project, so I lost sight of him, so to speak.
And now what? You created your perfect human. But even a perfect human can't withstand a bullet. Do you feel proud?
I do feel quite accomplished, yes. But I've got to start all over now, thanks to your antics. Oh, I had such a wonderful body to start with last time. So silky, so smooth. God dropped another one just like that on my doorstep. Of course, I'll be sad that the previous project is dead and gone, but I could start on a new one.
Not if I have anything to say about it.
You shot me.
You talk so much about creating the perfect human, someone who's strong, intelligent, and capable. But you're only human.
It seems I was outplayed. By the stupid one, no less.
Nice aim, Virginia.
I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm bamboozled. This is how I die.
Ruthless.
He would have bled out, but he would have kept talking too. I'm not dealing with that.
I'm proud of you, Virginia. Whether or not you want that pride, I know I've been ignoring you for most of this case, but you are a strong and capable woman.
I just wanted an A on my journalism assignment.
Don't downplay yourself. You've done a good job. You solved the case. And ended it.
Am I a murderer now?
No, you're not. You've just saved countless more lives, including your own. Ow.
Royal?
My leg.
Royal! The cave is starting to collapse.
He must have had a dead man switch or something.
Don't look, Royal. Your leg is fine. It's just going to hurt for a while.
Take my bag and go.
Royal, you're fine. Take my hand. I'm not leaving you behind.
That's right. You're not. You're getting the evidence out. Then you're coming back for me. I'm going to follow you as fast as I can. Go.
Royal, I'm out!
Good. Now keep running. I'm right behind you.
Royal! Royal! It's over. All of it. It's been about a month since I met Detective Wayne, the Madison Maimer. I finished the story, I wrote it, I got an A+ on the project, and national news flocked to me, asking me how I got so far. Of course, I released all the audio tapes Royal made. I can't take credit for the clues, I only ended it. Royal led me down the right path, tried to keep me safe. And in the end, he did. I can only imagine if I'd chosen to stay with him instead. Would it have been me that was killed that night? Would he be sitting here, talking into a microphone for the first episode of his podcast? I feel awful. I feel like a thief, like I stole credit from him. Despite all his best efforts, and mine, the press put my name in front and center as the person who solved the case. I didn't do anything. I just shot him. God. I've yet to say that out loud. I called the police when I got out of the cave and kept running until I got home. Less than an hour later, the cops were showing up at my door. They took me and made me confess. I murdered him. At first everyone was mad, but as the audio logs were released and more evidence was found, I was let go. I didn't mean to kill him. Now I'm a murderer too. Am I any better than him? Or am I just a lowly killer? These questions have been plaguing my mind for the last month. Everyone at school knows me. I'm getting fan mail. I'm getting hate mail. The Christians are calling me a murderer, saying I didn't give him a fair trial and that I was wrong to take justice in my own hands. My fellow students are obsessed with my bravery, asking me how I felt and what I feel like now. But out of all this, everything I've learned, I couldn't stop my girlfriend from leaving me. I became so popular in the last month, I couldn't walk outside. She hated that. She didn't get to spend time with me. And what's worse, she said she couldn't be with someone who had no regard for her life. By running in there that day, I unintentionally ended my relationship. She asked how I'd feel if she had died, and I had nothing left. I didn't mean to start the episode this way. It's been hard. Fame isn't everything it's knocked up to be. I wish it were, but with all this attention, I feel lonely. There's one audio log I never gave to the journalists. I did never listen to it. It says, "In case I die." And I didn't want to come to terms with the reality that he's dead. So I guess now we're both listening to it for the first time.
Hey, so if you're listening to this, then that means something bad has happened. I'm probably dead. Hopefully the Maimer didn't get me. Hopefully the Maimer isn't the one listening to this. I can only hope that someone has found these logs and turned them in. Hope. So much of it. So much. I'm Royal McNeal. I'm a journalist who failed this country, his people. I sent so many of my neighbors to death, convinced them that we were winning. Threw out propaganda to get them to sign up. I quit that job, and the realization of what I've done has haunted me for a long, long time. I helped the politicians keep a stranglehold on the people, even when they lost. I'm a failure of a journalist. That's why I took the Bella Fields case. I had to solve something, to do something good for the people. But here I am. I've just left prison. Gray is claiming his innocence and pointing towards Detective Wayne. I don't know if it's true, but considering he's been a thorn in my side at every step. Sure, it could be. It doesn't matter at this point who the Maimer is. Not really. I came across someone today, and my life has changed. I think I met the devil, just walking in the streets in a red suit. I think I'm going to hell today. If anyone is listening, the devil is real, and he walks the streets of Madison. Hello, I'm Noah Martin, founder and producer of Retrospection Radio. This concludes Retrospection Radio Season 4. I've had a lot of fun with this production, and I'm excited to announce Season 5 is not far away at all. Meanwhile, please feel free to start from any season and receive a full, complete story. Thank you for listening to Retrospection Radio, and I'll see you in Madison, Maine